just to us, and so we've been there for the past half decade. So. I've got 2 poems to share with you. I hope you like them. This first one is from a poetry book called Pharaoh Memes. It's not a word. But if you like somebody's pheromones, you might like their memes or their words and their ideas. So. This poem, actually, I think I'm going to go with this other one first, because it's a happier one. You'll get that one in a moment. No, I didn't know which to listen to. Sorry. This is from a book that's being published online called Eternal Never Ending Now. It just came out this year. And it's called And I'm Wondering. And I'm wondering if there's something chemical that brings people together, something that brings people to their knees, something that sucks them in. And I'm wondering if you're sensing what I'm sensing. This is just me. Am I making this all up in my head? Or when I glance up across the room, well, are you actually staring at me? And I'm wondering if it will work out this time. If we have one of those relationships that nobody ever doubts, especially us, because we know we'll always be in love. And I'm wondering if you find my neurotic pet peeves charming, like, oh, I hate it when people touch my belly because I'm so self-conscious. And I'm wondering why you had to tell me, well, we have to be sitting next to each other, that the fact that our legs were almost touching was making your heart race. And I'm wondering why I felt the need to take your cigarette and inhale, exhale, while the filter was still warm from your lips. They were just seconds before. And I'm wondering if a year or 2 from now, after we've been going out and should have gotten bored with each other and sunk into some uncomfortable rut, if you saw me making macaroni and cheese in the kitchen using margarine and water because I don't have any milk, and I've got my hair pulled back and the strands are falling down into my eyes, and I'm wearing an oversized button-down denim shirt and nothing else, well, what I was wondering is if you would see me like this and still think that I was sexy. When I glance up and I catch your eyes from across the room, when I see your eyes dart away, or when I feel this chemical reaction, well, what I'm wondering is, do you feel it too? Give your space for this. This was the other book that I was telling you about called Pharaoh Memes, and I hope you enjoy this one. It was written on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and it is called Our Color, Our Gender, Our Creed. There is a house inside of me. It's a house with a rich heritage, brimming with the knowledge of how our souls have flourished and how it can all be so quickly taken away. And there is a house inside of me that I've had to shut down to hide everything away because those who didn't look like me thought that I was nothing and treated me accordingly. There is a house inside of me. Its pulse has an infectious rhythm that we've had to stifle to hide from your generic white bread mentality, but we only let it out when we're alone to save us from your madness. There is a house inside of me. I've hidden it away, I've sealed it up and placed it deep within, brimming with my history and my future. And I don't let it out when people can't think of me as human. There is a house inside of me. I've had to get boards over the windows to save myself from your storm. With your wrath, I've learned to not fight back, only because my captor won't listen. There's a house inside of me, and this house will stand strong, even after you have raped me, beaten me, tortured me, tried to kill me. You treated me like nothing, but you were so wrong. There's a house inside of me, and what you don't realize is that this house will outlast yours. Trust me. If your house is built on such distrust and such blatant disrespect, then your house is bound to collapse. Because after all of this time, and after my wanting to fight, I've learned that passive resistance is only a part of my story. Because in these struggles, I have gained a wisdom and a connection that's beyond this house inside of me, beyond this sharing, this inquisitive mentality. So I want you to remember, this house is a symbol for all like me, and for those not like me too. Because I have a dream that everyone who has suffered like this, and even those who have not, should share their stories with all of the world, no matter our color, our gender, our creed. This is my dream, because this is how we truly grow. I also have a literary magazine up here.
Oh, what's the mag?
CC&D magazine and Down the Dirt magazine. They are both available from Scars Publications. Want to know about it? Go to scars.tv. Scars.tv. And the magazine stuff is all there. Blah, 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 blah. And I'll clean this.
Okay, the idea is to not talk into the mic while you're
I'm after her, so it's okay.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Perfect. That was great, Janet. Thank you. Right, clap it up one more time for Chicago. All right, next up, we have John. Janet's other half.
Okay, I've got two quick ones here. The first one is called, I'm sorry, it wasn't my intent. It's kind of my religion, philosophy, and science point. It was hanging there on my shirt. You know, right at the top of my shoulder where the sleeve attaches to the rest of the shirt. I know, I should have known better. Mother always told me not to pull on these strings, that I should cut these strings because pulling on them could be bad. I was busy answering prayers and I kept seeing it there in the corner of my eye. It was annoying me. So I reached up with my left hand and pulled. I'm sorry, it wasn't my intent. I pulled on a string and unraveled the fabric of space-time. At first I didn't realize what had happened. Everything fell out of place, almost right, but not quite. You know that feeling, like a dream or maybe an hallucination. I pulled on a string and unraveled the fabric of space-time. There was an immense brightness like the one so many years ago when I created this universe. It was only then when I realized what I had done. I pulled on a string and unraveled the fabric of space-time. Now I sit here alone with only my thoughts. I should have listened to my mother. I should have cut that string with some scissors. She always said that a string could be recycled into another universe once I collected enough of it. I pulled on a string and unraveled the fabric of space-time. I pulled on a string and unraveled the fabric of space-time, and I pulled on a string, I unraveled the fabric of space-time, and unraveled it alone, without even walls to close it on. This one's called Deer. It's actually a true story. I had done this many times before, but this time it was different. I scrubbed my skin to conceal the scent, grabbed my ear, dressed in camouflage. I took up my position just off the trail. I was leaning on a tree, waiting for the sunrise. In the cool autumn breeze, I listened to the sound of the woods. I listened for a deer. A fox walked by and didn't see me, a good sign. The sun rose, a few doe walked by. I knew a buck should be followed. Coming up out of the ravine, I heard the sound of a single deer. The deer came into view. I pressed the stalk into my shoulder. Looking through the lens, I studied the buck facing towards me. A nice 10-point. Its face was brown with a broad white chest. Still young, it hadn't yet learned to be cautious. It turned on a trail, a perfect shot. I centered it in the frame. Remembering the rule of thirds, I adjusted my aim. I squeezed the trigger, heard the click and whir as the shutter opened, closed, and the film advanced to the next frame. The buck heard it too. Watched as I lowered my camera. Slowly it approached, cautiously lowering its face to mine. I held my breath as it studied me, moving closer. It stopped, its nose almost touching mine. Its eyes. Its eyes were staring at mine just 6 inches away, possibly catching an image of me. What did it see? What did it think as it turned? What will it remember? It walked a few steps, sniffed the air, and turned toward the doe. Walked away.